What in the world's going on? Todd Archer, George Pickens has not, I repeat, not yet signed the franchise tag tender for the Cowboys. Remember, on Thursday, right before the draft, Schefter reported that Pickens was expected to sign it. And all of us, I can tell you right now, sitting on the set, immediately perked up. Oh, my goodness. Why is he going to sign it right now? It can't be a coincidence, the timing. This is an opportunity for a trade. Probably not a first-round pick, maybe a second-round pick. Cowboys need help on defense. All of a sudden, he hasn't signed it yet. Dan Graziano, my insider extraordinaire, is this something or nothing?
It's not something yet. At this point, I think Todd is putting this out there because Todd was hearing a lot of discussion that indicated that he had signed it, and I think he just wanted to clarify that he hasn't. There's still an expectation in that building that he will. The key thing to understand about the George Pickens situation, is he going to play on the franchise tag, is the answer might still be yes. We have not heard from the player. A year ago, it was a Micah Parsons situation, and Micah, God bless him, like he lets us know everything he's thinking.
Yes.
We haven't heard anything from George Pickens, and it's one of the possible outcomes here is that he was told by the Cowboys it's franchise tag or nothing, and he goes, okay, fine, I'll show up and I'll show him. So until such time as we see him, we're free to speculate, but the expectation right now is still that he shows up and plays on the tag.
What we need is for Micah Parsons to book George Pickens on his podcast so we can get to the bottom of this. But bottom line, you're a general manager. You've lived in all of this. The draft has come and gone. So the trading of Pickens, whereas there may have been some urgency to get it done before the draft if there was something you wanted to do, now if what we're looking at is compensation in next year's draft or whatever the case may be, we're in no rush.
No, there is a sense of urgency from this standpoint. If you're a team that needs a receiver, so the Patriots, the Chiefs, the Rams, and you feel like you got to go get a receiver on a one-year deal, you want George Pickens as soon as possible to get in the offseason program. He cannot be traded until he signs the tender.
Right.
That is the most important thing here. Until he signs that franchise tag, nothing can happen. Now, I believe he will sign it because he's not going to want to miss a paycheck. There's some other minor issues that once he signs it, he could be fined for missing mandatory minicamp or training camp. But the headlines are, until he signs this tender, Greeny, nothing can happen. And if I'm a team that's considering trading for him, there is more value the sooner I get him in the building.
And the bottom line, Hawk, you're my receiver. George Pickens, we all saw what a dynamic season he had last year. Cowboys are suddenly, with all the improvements they made on defense in this draft, do you think the Cowboys should trade George Pickens?
I don't think the Cowboys should trade George Pickens. I think you work to get a deal done. If I'm George Pickens, I sign the tender because he's about halfway through this kind of, reclamation process. And for him, it's building your reputation, showing everybody you can both handle a payday and handle the load that came with Dallas Cowboys. And he did that phenomenally. One more year, he will be the highest paid receiver in football. Now, if they can get a deal done this year, if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I absolutely.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. The George Pickens saga with the Dallas Cowboys is still dragging on. The star wide receiver has not yet signed his franchise tag tender. Remember, right before the draft, Adam Schefter reported that Pickens was expected to sign it. Everyone perked up. Why would he sign it right now? The timing could not be a coincidence. This was an opportunity for a trade. Probably not a first-round pick, but maybe a second-round pick. The Cowboys need help on defense. And then, nothing. He has not signed it yet. Dan Graziano, ESPN NFL insider, joined Get Up to clarify the situation. He said, "It's not something yet. There's still an expectation in that building that he will sign it." But here is the key. Mike Tannenbaum, former GM, broke down why this matters. He said, he cannot be traded until he signs a tender. That is the most important thing here. Until he signs that franchise tag, nothing can happen. And Tannenbaum made another critical point. If you are a team that needs a receiver, like the Patriots, the Chiefs, or the Rams, you want George Pickens as soon as possible to get him in your off-season program. The sooner you get him in the building, the more value he has. But right now, the Cowboys cannot trade him. And Pickens has no incentive to sign early. If he signs, he can be fined for missing mandatory minicamp or training camp. So, he is going to wait. Now, let's talk about what the Cowboys should do. The crew debated whether Dallas should trade Pickens or keep him. Hawk, the analyst, said, "I don't think the Cowboys should trade George Pickens. I think you work to get a deal done." He argued that Pickens is in the middle of a reclamation process. He is building his reputation. One more year like last year, and he will be the highest paid receiver in football. He will be in the Jamar Chase neighborhood. Dan Graziano agreed. He said, "The Cowboys do not want to trade him. They feel like this is the appropriate way to handle the situation. Their expectation is that he will sign." But here is the problem. The Cowboys are the Cowboys. They always make things dramatic. And the longer this drags out, the more it becomes a distraction. Pickens has not said anything publicly. He has not gone on podcasts like Micah Parsons did last year. He has not forced their hand. But that does not mean he is happy. Tannenbaum made a crucial point about the risk of missing training camp. He said, if he misses training camp, soft tissue injuries for skilled players are always on the table. But he does not think Pickens will miss games. It is over $1 million a week. He will show up. But let me give you my take. The Cowboys should not trade George Pickens. He is a dynamic playmaker. He had a phenomenal season last year. The offense is the reason there is so much hope in Dallas. If you trade him, you are creating a hole that you cannot fill. And for what? A second-round pick. That is not worth it. Cowboys need to sign him to a long-term deal. Not a franchise tag. Not a one-year rental. A real extension. Pay the man. He has earned it. And if they do not, someone else will. And the Cowboys will be left wondering what could have been. I want to know what you think. Should the Cowboys trade George Pickens or extend him? And if they trade him, where should he go? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And subscribe if you want to stay locked in. We are building something real here. See you next time. Peace.